Now there's a very disturbing story that Sunni sources narrate when it comes to the Prophet in the tribe of Bani Sa'd with Halima. So the Prophet was in that village growing up those 5 years. There are hadiths in Bukhari, in Muslim, and many Sunni sources that say one day the Prophet was playing with the kids when suddenly Jibreel comes. He holds the Prophet, he splits his chest open like a surgical operation. He tears it up, he tears his chest, he cuts his chest, he takes out the heart of the Prophet. There was a clot on the heart of the Prophet. A ghudda. What do you call a ghudda?
Lymph node.
A lymph node. A type of clot on the heart of the Prophet. He takes that ghudda, he cuts that clot. Then he takes the heart of the Prophet, he washes it with Zamzam water in a golden plate container, and then he puts the heart back. Then he stitches his chest and he goes back playing. But now the Prophet is traumatized, his face is yellow. The kids run to Halima and they tell her, Muhammad's dead. Your child is dead. So she rushes and she sees these marks on his chest, but he was okay. Who narrates this? Bukhari, Muslim, many of these sources. What was that clot? The hadith in Bukhari and Muslim says that clot was a window for the Shaytan, the devil, to go into the heart of the Prophet. The lot of the Shaytan, hadl al-Shaytan, as the hadith says. So Jibreel wanted to save the Prophet from the devil, from Satan. So he came and he cut that clot. And that's how he saved the Prophet from the impact of the Shaytan. So before this clot, Shaytan would come in and out and enter the Prophet's heart as he wished. Now Bukhari, Muslim, and these other sources say this happened 4 or 5 times in the Prophet's life. Later on, when he grew up, this happened. Again, Jibreel would come. Again, he would do this surgical operation. SubhanAllah, no other messenger of God had to go through this. Except the poor Prophet. He has to have this clot in his heart. And it's the window for the Shaytan. And Jibreel has to traumatize him like that by opening his chest and cutting up his heart and then putting it back. I won't pass the judgment, you pass the judgment. Whether you accept such myths or not.
People believe this.